I'm going to call the meeting to order at 8:31. Roll call, please.
Chair Rutledge.
Here.
Vice Chair Garcia.
Here.
Member Cahill.
Here.
Member Evans. Member LaPlante. Member Covert.
Here. Thank you. For Chairwoman's remarks, a couple things I wanted to talk about this morning, a little prepared is, I mentioned recently at a Public Works Committee that I was concerned about the tree species on campus. I wanted to provide you with an update as that information was provided to me by a 2016 tree inventory. Since then, staff removed many of the weedy or invasive tree species as part of the DuPage project in 2018, and facilities management has planted 1,000 native trees and shrubs between 2018 and today. Pleased to report there are now 68 native species of trees and shrubs on campus, and there is a plan to update the tree survey. So that will, good job, keep doing that. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit this morning is, I don't know if you saw the Daily Herald on Saturday, but it had a front page article below the fold about the trash hauler efforts. Very well written. I'm pleased to say that I have had very few people that are like, leave us alone. Majority of the people that have responded have been positive. So I don't know what the survey respondents have been.
We are
so.
at 1,600.
Oh, good. All right, that's good.
Very good response.
So that's good to know too. Public comment this morning.
We don't have any online, but we do have one in person.
Dave, come on up.
3 minutes on the card. David Barkus. Good morning, everybody. Wanted to tell you what happened in the last 4 weeks since I saw you. We just finished a project for Scarce, creating a permanent display. It was done with a grant from Home Depot and some other staff providing all the labor, and then we installed it on Friday afternoon over at Scarce. I got a couple of pictures if you guys would like to take a look at them. This display is going to give us, we do two things. We educate and we try to help with policy. So this will put us in front of upwards of 25,000 people a year, and gets out the message faster, and hopefully people do something with the information they see. I also had 2 meetings with groups. One has, excuse me, 170,000 annual visitors, and the other one has 2 million. And I'm hoping to try to do something. It won't be exactly the same, but the potential to reach, 170,000 people in a year, or 2 million people in a year is pretty exciting. And we're going to have follow-up meetings this month to talk to them some more. So we'll see where that goes. I also I worked on policy speed up. So I have a meeting set up this month with somebody that I think can help do some of the easier things. There's 160 some odd municipalities trying to figure out how we could create some ordinances a little bit faster, nothing hard. I spoke with a person that's in charge of Design Light Consortium. That's a nonprofit that helped the utilities do a lot of the conversions. And they validated most of the designs in terms of testing to make sure they work as advertised. And they have a big program on dark sky. They call it Luna. She gave me some great ideas of what to go after. There's some simple things. You go after lighting with the ordinance that actually can be upgraded to smart systems as they evolve. And you worry about the way things are mounted. A lot of the light, if you notice, is mounted so that it aims toward the sky. And so what we're looking for in the ordinance is just you mount parallel to the ground, you choose the warmest you can, and you get something that can be upgraded, and that's what I'm going to try to do. We have a picnic at Palos that we worked on with the Cook County Forest Preserve, and we worked on with Sag and Brain native plant people, and that'll be September 15th of this month. And we hope to expand the use of the forest preserves, not only in Cook County, but in DuPage, and I'll be going to a board meeting in a couple weeks with DuPage. Not sure what they're going to talk about, but I was invited, and I think it's some dark sky things that they plan on working on. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well done. Next, I'll ask for a motion on the approval of minutes 23-2654, the meeting minutes from August 1st, 23. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, parent committee approval on 23-2843. Authorization is requested to have one environmental and sustainability programs manager attend the annual Illinois County Solid Waste Management Association Conference in Utica, Illinois from October 25th, 23 to the 26th. Cost $375. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Next is also a travel authorization 23-2845, requested to have one environmental specialist attend the annual Solid Waste Management Association conference, same cost as sessions on waste and recycling, and provides technical training for delegated county inspectors.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Informational, FIR 0195-23, the recommendation to establish an agreement between the County of DuPage and the Illinois Energy Conservation Authority, NFP,
So moved.
to provide property assessed clean energy administrator services for the period of October 1st, 23 through September 31st, 27 at no cost to the county. Love hearing that.
Second.
You don't need a motion to vote on that.
Okay,
Strictly, this is strictly
Informational.
informational.
Perfect.
We wanted to bring it to environmental committee because it is the CPACE program that does help us with our DuPage goals. It
Wonderful.
provides commercial entities with the financing on lower interest and larger sums of money program. So it's been very successful. We've invited the IECA to come speak to the committee to give you some details as the history of the program and where we're at, the successes that we've seen so far.
Okay, sure. Next on our agenda is staff reports. First is the solar switch program.
So I am pleased to report that our solar switch program is going well. We have, let's see, installations. Let's see, they have talked to nearly 2,500 residents, participated in their online education programs, and more than 200 residents opted to move forward with installations in the region. This is Lake County, Will County, Cook County, Kane County, and DuPage County. So we did have 53 residents that will be moving forward with solar installations in DuPage as a result of the program. Very good.
Next, sustainability videos.
I'm going to hand it off to Austin, and then we are going to show you some of our product here.
So as a part of this campaign, we partnered with a media company to create about 30-second videos, things that are easy to get on your Twitter, Facebook, even movie theaters and whatnot, something that are easy to advertise, people can watch, get messages through. And we did ones on composting, green business, and solar. Solar we were able to do in both English and Spanish. They are averaged around 2,000 views, and we were also able to get some old videos, get those advertised on a bunch of things as you're seeing as we go through wish cycling, or EVs, a lot of things. We were able to get that out to more people, averaging around 2,000. Yeah, we did 3 new videos being solar, green business, and composting, kind of 30-second, easily digestible, get all the information out there.
And those are housed on the county's YouTube channel. We have our own playlist underneath the County of DuPage's YouTube channel. So Tony was going to show you the solar one. We can indulge us for 30 seconds.
Solar is a great renewable resource to power your home or business, and you don't even have to own a building. You can subscribe to community solar projects in Illinois to support green power, or if you are interested in purchasing a system, there has never been a better time. The price of panels has been decreasing, and there are many state and federal incentives, including Illinois Solar for All program. To learn more about solar, visit dupagecounty.gov/solar.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're very pleased with how things are going. And if you have any thoughts, opinions, or if you have any questions, you can happily promote those.
So these all reside under YouTube, under the DuPage County.
Yes, so it's DuPage County's YouTube channel, and then it's the environmental, I think, Tony, it's the environmental division playlist is what it's called.
Send that link out to the board members, just so we all know where to find those. That would be helpful. Next for presentations, our campus EV readiness. Ian.
Hey Sheila, hey everyone. So you might recognize this presentation. I gave it to Public Works a couple months ago, but this is a great opportunity to give you an update on where we are with it and to just kind of review what we're doing with our campus EV readiness. Okay, so our current campus EV status is we only have 2 parking spaces on our 193-acre campus, and I call this our lonely charger. It's our one dual port level 2 charger. It's a good joke, right? In 421 South parking lot. It's been here since 2014. It's heavily used during county business hours, so about 8 to 10 hours a day. It is in constant use. We have an average of 20 to 24 unique vehicles each month. So it's high trafficked. To the point where we have had complaints, we have had people saying they don't even have an opportunity to charge, and we have employees that drive an EV vehicle that don't even bother trying to use this charger anymore because of how much use it gets. So currently our campus charging demand is not being met. We have over 1 million visitors estimated that visit the courthouse each year alone. And it's estimated that 10% of light duty vehicles on the road will be an electric vehicle by 2030. So there's this EV boom coming, and we're already not meeting current campus charging needs. So our kind of plan is to ready the campus for this EV boom, as well as any grant funding opportunities that might be available. We want to be able to just jump on those for any charging stations. So here's a bird's eye view of our campus, and we identified the highest priority, the most moderate priority, and low priority areas that we believe EV charging stations should go. Now, even though it's broken up into high, moderate, and low priority, all of these locations we believe are actually awesome locations that would get a lot of use. We just broke them into categories so we know which ones to pursue first. So A, for example, is our courthouse, B is our care center, and then C is our 421 lonely charger, which we would like to give it a friend. So the 505 JOF building, so that's our courthouse, gets over 1 million visitors each year. We would look at putting 2 dual port chargers in just south of the garage. We would use the garage electrical system. We estimate the cost to be somewhere between 50 and 70,000. Recently, we believe it actually might be less than 50,000. When we first made this, we were expecting a bit higher price point, but we actually think we might do pretty well on this. Next would be the care center. Also gets a lot of visitors, people visiting family, friends that might be living at the care center. So this would be our second location to put in charging stations. And then finally, we have our 421 administration building. We have a lot of employees that come here, a lot of public that also come here for various reasons. Our lonely charger is already recognized in the community. So to give it an additional 2 spots would alleviate some of that high traffic that is at that charging station. So here are some the 3 big funding opportunities that we're looking at for to help fund these charging stations. The first big one is the Charging and Fueling Infrastructure Grant. This is a really large, you may have heard of this grant. It's really big. It's mainly geared towards highways and having level 3 chargers off the highway so people can road trip easier. However, they do have a community aspect of it. It was a bit high. The minimum, I believe, Joy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the minimum that we had to put in was like $500,000 worth of charging stations though. So it was a little bit out of our scope for just our campus. However, we did throw our hat in the ring with Metropolitan's Merit Caucus. It was a group application. So we did apply for a level 3 charger. We're still waiting back to hear on whether or not we are accepted or not. But if we do get accepted, we will get a level 3 charger on campus. The second one, sorry, can you go back just real quick? Yeah, the second one is the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, CEJA, which you've also probably heard of. They are going to be giving out an 80% rebate on charging stations. That is still TBD though on when or how we can do that. Their website is essentially says check back in when we have more information, and it's been expected this summer, all summer, so we're still waiting. Hopefully we get back, we hear something soon though, because that would be a really awesome funding opportunity, 80% rebate on charging stations. And finally, our Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program. About $450,000 were allocated to DuPage County to do various energy efficiency projects, including electric vehicle charging stations. And our ECBG did get accepted at Public Works, so we're doing various projects, but we did throw in the 2 dual port chargers at the courthouse. So the courthouse chargers are getting funded through ECBG money. Okay, so these charging stations, are not free though. Installation costs, but also electricity does cost money. So one user, about on average, one user for 2 hours of charge uses about $1 or so of electricity. Over the course of a month, our one station there uses about a megawatt hour of county electricity. That kind of just varies depending on the month, the season, how many people are visiting campus. But overall, they use about $1,000 in electricity every year. So as we add more dual port chargers and more chargers in general across campus, that is something we do have to be mindful of, that it is costing us about $1,000 per station in electricity every year. So it's not free. So each station costs approximately $1,000 in electricity each year. And we need to kind of figure out a policy with this aspect, because as we throw in more chargers, it starts costing the county more money. We do want to figure out a policy, which we will, I believe, come back to committee in the future when we get closer to actually installing these chargers. Right now, our current policy is just users are allowed a maximum of 2 hours of charge before they're requested to vacate the spot. And then future policy could be all types of different, could have all the types of different details. You know, it could be dependent on whether or not it's a fast charge, slow charge. Are we gonna do just a flat rate? Are we gonna charge per kilowatt of electricity used? There's all kinds of things that we could do for a future policy as we add more chargers, but we will come back to committee when we're closer to installing these charging stations. Thank you. Any questions? Oh, sorry, Sheila.
Sorry, I think I saw your hand go up first. Go ahead.
Well, you're the chairwoman, so.
Well, that's okay. I'll defer.
All right, thank you. So just a few great presentations. Thank you for coming here. Very important to have these stations. Just have some questions. If we have, well, we could get specific numbers later because I know this was the initial presentation, but my concern, not concern, just a question. If how many charging stations are we planning to have, and would it have an effect on our electric power grid here? Because I know we're trying to put solar panels here, and so.
That's a fantastic question, because the amount of charge, off the top of my head, I don't have an exact number, probably around a dozen or so across campus, off the top of my head. And yes, electrical infrastructure is something we need to think of, because these chargers, even level 2 chargers, do draw a significant amount of power. In fact, our courthouse charging stations, which we're going to be hopefully installing in February, March-ish, hopefully, since we're drawing power from the garage, it's actually a very old electrical system, and our electricians aren't the happiest with that, but it is like the best we can do. So we're actually basing the chargers we're picking. We're looking at charge point level 2 chargers that can actually, you can kind of scale the amount of electricity they're using dependent on the electrical system, because the last thing we want to do is put our electrical system to the test just for charging stations, right? Especially if we need to add other things in the future at different electrical panels. So it's something we're definitely taking into consideration.
Cindy.
Oh, thank you. Also, thank you for your presentation, and I am supportive of these charging stations, but I think that we need to control the cost of this electricity to the county and the cost of upgrades and other things we need to do. So I would be supportive of charging for the use of the electricity. That's just the way it is. I mean, it can't be free. It has to be something that each person is going to put their credit card in and swipe it, and that's the way it is. So I don't want it to be a cost for the county.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cindy. That's actually one of the, I agree. So does ChargePoint set the rate, or do we set that?
We set it.
Okay.
We get full, we can make it free, or we can call, we
And
can
I'm
charge more than
full
what.
agreement with
Yeah.
Cindy. You fill your car up with gasoline, you pay.
Mhm.
So, and there are too many other options for people to charge beyond using our free option. So that's one. So speaking from experience, I get 2 hours out there and it gives me about 40 miles. Not the fastest charger
Right.
I've ever hooked up to. So will the next level of chargers, level is a bad word, is the next
Wave.
wave faster than what we've already got out there?
It's gonna be completely dependent on the location. Back to the electrical infrastructure, we can't, I would like to say yes, it's gonna be faster. And hopefully it will be at some locations, but it's dependent on the electrical infrastructure. For example, the 509 garage can't handle level 3 chargers or anything like that.
Right.
So it's unfortunately gonna be probably similar to 40 miles for 2 hours. However, if we do get the level 3 charger, we've
Like
identified,
45 minutes.
yeah, and we've identified some
charge.
locations on our campus where the electrical for
That'll
infrastructure
work. Okay.
can handle a level 3 charger, so.
I think that's the extent of my questions. Anybody else, Patty?
Quick question, in Naperville, we have a lot of charging stations.
Yeah, you guys do.
Yeah, we did a really good job, except that our transformers can't accommodate all the electric that's going out in some places, particularly older subdivisions, the older areas. However, we did formulate agreements with other companies, like businesses, where they actually are partners on some of those charging stations. Also natural gas stations too. So is that something that you guys would consider potentially going out and talking with other businesses to see if they wanted to partner with the county? Because like you said, it is going to cost. I mean, we're gonna have to look for upgrades as time goes on to get that faster energy, faster electric to those stations, because sitting there for 2 hours and only getting 40 miles, is it gonna cut it?
Right.
And a lot of stores have already done that, like Myers and stuff like that. They have a lot, they have a lot of charging stations. So those are things to think about in the future, but be aware of them now to see if you can build those relationships moving forward.
Yeah, we're part of the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, and they have a huge EV readiness plan. And part of their kind of steps to become more, as a county, become more EV ready is to start approaching, I believe, businesses and private industry on that matter. Should I correct me?
To encourage.
To encourage, yes.
We're not
yes.
in a position at this point to provide incentives or any sort of cost.
Anybody else? Sadia, go
Will we
ahead.
be working through ComEd to expand our electrical infrastructure or like how is this
That
gonna-
would be, so
Oh.
maybe down the line, if electric vehicle fleet becomes a thing, because right now our infrastructure can't even come close to handling fleet. So if that is something that the committee wants to, approach in the future, then we can totally, was when we would bring ComEd in the mix to start figuring out how we can upgrade our entire infrastructure.
Is it possible if we could see a plan to expand the electrical infrastructure before we get the charging stations?
Yeah, we actually had a third party do a study on our campus infrastructure for EV fleet, and they identified which transformers would need to go, and unfortunately, some of these things, to my knowledge, some of these like transformer upgrades have to be even like engineered. They're not, you can't just go to, order them online or anything, right? Like, so, but yeah, we did have a third party kind of look at that, CDM Smith, and they looked at that and kind of identified where our faults are for if we were to ever go into EV fleet.
And on that note, I will support Member Garcia on her continual push for electric vehicles that we use here on campus. So totally in support of that as well. So any other questions?
Wait, one more question. Do we have a number on how many people currently do have electric vehicles on campus? I mean, what is the demand right now?
On campus, I don't have
Can't
numbers.
meet the demand.
I just know, yeah, we can't meet the demand with our one charger right now. So as soon as we install the charge in the courthouse, I will personally have a lot more data to work with to see where, electrical vehicles, and I could actually start seeing unique vehicles dependent on charger. And then I would have a bit better idea of how many EVs are visiting our campus. Secretary of State's, they publish a lot of statistics on county-wide EV vehicles and by zip code and things like that, but campus specific, I don't have the exact number.
Or we do have county information.
Yes, we have county, city, zip code information. Yep, Secretary of State's got all of that.
So that's where we.
Yes, oh yes, yeah, I have a graph of that somewhere over time, so.
Thanks for all your questions, everybody. Next on our agenda is an update from Scares.
Morning, everybody. So we've got a lot going on. It's our busiest summer since before COVID. So we're glad that people are visiting again and enjoying learning about the environment. So we have an Earth Flag ceremony coming up October 17th for the Addison Public Library. This is their recertification. So they're the first library to do that. And then on the right side are all the churches and libraries. There's another church, Holy Cross in Wheaton, that are working on the earth flags. We've done the green audits and they're in progress. So kind of cool. Go ahead. Tony, you can go ahead. No, it won't go ahead. Okay. The STEMapalooza at the end of July was really, really a good program, and 15 booths and 2,200 families and kids. It was very, very busy. And the energy bike is always, always a big hit because people get to make their own energy, turn the light bulbs on, and see how it works and see how much work it is to light incandescents. So it's always a really popular one to teach people about energy conservation. And then we had an exhibit on two roofs. We had a black roof and a white roof, and people could just feel the difference, just touch the roof and feel the difference in the temperature. So some really good environmental kinds of programs. Go ahead, Tony. The Solar Power Hour we hosted, this is our third one that we've hosted with Cub for residents to come and learn about solar panels and the different programs. I always can judge a conference or a workshop by how many people ask questions and how many people stay later. So almost every person there asked questions, and we stayed more than 45 minutes over the hour. So there were a lot of good questions, a lot of very sincere interest. Go ahead. Summer recycling extravaganzas. We had the really successful one June 3rd in West Chicago. We're grateful to the Sheriff's Department for their syringes and their medicines and EpiPens. It was a big success for that. I think it was their most cars ever. And then Hinsdale South in Darien. State Senator Jen Curran and one other hosted it at the high school. And we have a great environmental club there. So we had plenty of help, and we were able to rescue lots and lots of materials. Go ahead. These are the fall ones coming up. The first one, Wheaton, is our second of the month, but all the rest are their first events for the fall. So we're excited about all those coming up. And the Darien one on the bottom, that will be our third event this year, collecting syringes and medicines with the Sheriff's Department. So we're really grateful for the Sheriff's Department helping with that. Go ahead. So we hosted a green gathering for environmental groups here in DuPage County. So Green Roselle and Go Green, Glen Ellen and Elmhurst, Cool Cities, all those groups. Catherine was there from Nest and so forth. So in League of Women Voters, were you there for Nest or League of Women Voters? League of Women. Oh, okay, and somebody else was there.
Nest was there.
Catherine was there. So what's her name?
Kathy Clark.
Kathy Clark, yeah. So anyway, so it was really good exchange of ideas. And since then, more and more of the groups have been borrowing things from Scarce. So the Greener Grove has borrowed a tent now twice, and they've borrowed some of our handouts, and they've borrowed some of our exhibits. Go Green Glen Ellen has been borrowing a lot of things. So it's really nice. They don't have to buy or fund those kinds of tents, and we have those. So they can come and borrow them and just help make their programs stronger in their communities and save some money as well. Go ahead. So Bring Your Gig. I've talked about it where people give us their dishes, pick up dishes and napkins. This is the Carroll Stream Police Department. They had a police officer who passed away in February. And so they were doing a fundraiser for the family. And so they borrowed dishes, napkins, silverware, all of those kinds of items. So that was really good. But that's a list of just this summer, some of the reusable groups borrowing our dishes and so forth. Go ahead. So there's a group in Chicago, CAPE. I don't remember what it all stands for, Chicago Art Partnership or something. Anyway, they had a program with the West Chicago School District this summer. So we were able to do recycling 3 R's and then trash to treasures with this group. So it was a lot of fun, 8 programs, a lot of kids, a lot of staff. It was a really good partnership to work with so many kids in the summer. Go ahead. Oak Brook Park District brought their students, their participants to learn how to make recycled paper and to learn about the 3 R's. Go ahead. And then the Downers Grove Park District, their staff, their certified teachers came for a workshop this month just to learn about more ways that they can integrate pollinators and energy conservation, reduce, reuse, recycle with their kids. Go ahead. And then these are our resources that we've rescued this year. You know, some of you know that we recycle the books that are not reusable in any way. So the first number is the number of books that we can validate were chosen by teachers and not-for-profits. There's more that sometimes just take a box and don't count. But then you can see the number of tons of books and paper and cardboard recycled. So that 206, almost 207 tons of books that were damaged by water, are way too old of textbooks, the bindings are broken. That's a lot of paper that didn't go to the landfill, and 90% of that is just from DuPage County. So that is a lot of garbage that isn't going to any landfill anywhere. And then you can figure out the approximate gallons of water saved. The cardboard, we're almost at 9 tons. It's really adding up. More and more people are understanding that if we can reuse the books, that's great. If we can't reuse them, then let's absolutely for sure get them recycled. And then our staff figured out approximately how many trees that is from the paper, the cardboard, and the books. So we're grateful for anybody who helps promote getting those books reused. That is first goal, right? And then of course, getting them recycled for sure. So go ahead. And that landfill diversion of the books transfers into other things. A company in Glendale Heights gave us, I think, about 3,000 t-shirts, brand new t-shirts, and we were able to get those to the sheriff's office. A lot of times the people leaving the jail need clothes to wear, so they picked up 15 cases. The People's Resource Center picked up cases. Good Samaritan Hospital Psych Unit picked up cases of t-shirts. So it's really great. It didn't go in the landfill in Glendale Heights, and it's helping serve people right here in our own community. And then working bikes, 41.5 bikes, which is kind of funny because we did get half of a bike. And then boxes of hats and helmets and repair tools and things. And then the bread tags. Thanks for having that collection bin here, Ian. We're 255.5 pounds, got picked up last Thursday. So that's pretty amazing, you guys. That's 237,000 bread tags. So it's not very many pounds, but pretty cool. And that's those boxes right there getting loaded to go to Indiana to help us get wheelchairs for kids. Go ahead. So upcoming events, the Pumpkin Smash, trying to let all the cities know. We've got quite a few cities who have already turned in their applications to us that they are hosting a Pumpkin Smash. We've got a composting workshop coming up this next week after this. And then it's our 33rd birthday, actually in August. And so we're having a little birthday party in September. We're too busy in August to have a birthday party, but we're trying to showcase now the Dark Skies exhibit. Thanks for being on time for our birthday party. So more people will be able to see that. And we're hoping it's heavy. What Dave and Home Depot created it's heavy, but we're hoping someday to be able to have it out at events where there's electricity, because it does require a plug-in. Solar panels probably won't work under tents, but anyway, we have to figure out a way to transport it, even though it's a little bit heavy. But I think it's going to show a lot of people how they can save energy and how they can help prevent improperly sending light into space, interfering with our migrating insects, birds, and so forth. So thanks very much. Any questions, you guys? Yeah.
You talked about tents, recycling of tents. Is that like
Reusing of tents.
reusing of tents? So is that like if you're having a festival or something, you guys have reusable tents?
Yep. Yep.
And
So they
then
borrow
this-
the canopy.
So they like the
canopy.
pop-up
Yeah,
canopy
yeah.
type.
Okay, and then the second one, have you reached out to libraries? I don't know if they recycle books or if they just like hold on to them and it's like, I'm never gonna ever get rid of a book. You know, I don't know their philosophy, but
Hey, we
if you do.
We did.
Okay.
In fact, we had a meeting just for libraries. We had 2 of them, I think in May, 2 of them, so that they could talk about the groups, how they get books reused. So we talked about getting books for the litters at the laundromat projects, right? Making sure that they really get reused. And we even gave them some reusable kinds of craft ideas for books. So yeah, a lot of different ways to make sure their books are getting recycled as much as possible.
If you need help with the Naperville libraries, let me know.
I could use help.
Yes.
So we will take all help with the Naperville
Reach
Library.
out.
Libraries.
Let me know.
Any other questions? Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Kay. Always good work that you do. Next, any old business? Seeing none, any new business? Seeing none, without objection, we're adjourned.